Good evening, good morning, wherever you may be. This is Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound bringing you the Monday market report for the week ending February 2nd, 2020. Thank you for making me part of your day. In this video, we are going to take a look at some of the most prominent coins, graded coins of the modern generation to sell at auction for this week. And I must say, we are seeing kind of a different trend moving forward, especially in Jefferson nickels. So you're going to want to make sure that you stay tuned in because this information may impact you because collector preferences are starting to shift a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about exactly what's happening in the marketplace to facilitate such a change. Your nickels all of a sudden might be worth more money. You never know. But we're going to go ahead and jump right in here in a moment. But first, I got to do the good old YouTube thing. And that is, if this is your first time here again, thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notifications. And without further ado, how about we go ahead and jump head first into this phenomenal list. And yes, one coin did sell for over $3,200. But what could it be? Maybe it's this 1995 Lincoln Memorial set that sold for $3,236.62 on Great Collections this evening. Now, this coin is somewhat of a specialty. It is a very well-known variety that made lots of headlines upon its release and discovery in 1995. And this is the sought-after double die obverse. Okay, it's even more sought after because of how high it graded. This is a PCGS Mint State 69 full red example. It is a stunner. If I were to say yes, this 1995 Lincoln cent sold for more than a $20 St. Gaudens gold piece, you guys probably think I'm crazy. But this is the marketplace, all right? There's lots of money funneling into moderns. For whatever reason, there is a high collectability of this coins. If I had to kind of pinpoint exactly where all of the, I guess, action is coming from, you better believe it's from the registry sets from both PCGS and NGC. So we have this coin to kind of headline the Monday market report for this week, and it is a beauty. All right, so we have another Lincoln cent here for you, and this time it's a 1985D. This one is part of the Jack Lee collection. All right, so this one, even though it's Jack Lee, doesn't say it on the actual holder. This is a PCGS Mint State 69 full red example. This one is a really high grade, and it sold for $1,212.75. All right, so obviously this is going to go into a registry set. You know, if you're getting into this to buy these as investments and really not playing the registry set game, then it might not be the greatest of investments, especially if you're getting into investing in coins. Moderns are kind of treated a lot differently than some of the classics, or maybe even some of the high-end like precious metal pieces. Like I alluded to, anything like early 1900s, 1800s gold is more of an investment vehicle than the moderns. All right, so be careful if you decide you want to kind of try your luck at buying a few of these high-graded top pop coins. You know, there's always going to be more that's going to enter the marketplace as people catch wind of, you know, just how popular it is to send these out to those grading companies. All right, so we have another one. Of course, you know, this is probably old reliable on the list. It's a 1943 Lincoln Steel cent. Of course, this is a one-shot year in which the U.S. Mint converted from the copper planchets to the zinc-coated steel planchets that are made popular even to this day. This one right here, of course, it's a nice high-grade one, PCGS Mint State 68. It is also CAC certified. It is a tremendously clean coin, and this one sold for $3,249 this evening on Great Collections. All the coins that I'm talking about, are, by the way, are from Great Collections. There's nothing of note from eBay. I usually like to bring up a quick little eBay listing that sold this past week, but nothing worthwhile talking about. So the next coin on the list, we're going to go and dive a little bit earlier. This is a 1934D Lincoln cent. Okay, this is 30s coins can be a little bit tricky at times, finding just the right grade that's going to be worth all the money. This one is a PCGS Mint State 67 red. All right, when you get into the older coins, the reds kind of have like a little brownish patina, but in hand, these are going to show up pretty nice in red. This one right here sold for $1,243.12 on Great Collections. Pretty nice coin to add to the good old registry set. And we're going to talk about a coin that I usually don't talk about at all because of how old these are. Sometimes people see Indian head cents as very unapproachable from a affordability standpoint, and that is that's okay. All right, that it's okay to feel that way, and not a lot of people come across high-grade Indian head cents. Oftentimes they're going to be in very poor condition, maybe good to fair, maybe even worse than that. Maybe it's corroded. But this is what a pristine, well-preserved example looks like. This is a 1907 Indian head cent. It's a PCGS Mint State 65 full red example, CAC certified. It is also in what they call an old green holder. It's the first generation type of its kind. And this one sold for $1,068.75. Some of you are probably thinking, well, that seems kind of low. Well, actually, it's a nice high amount of money for this coin because it is indeed one of the most plentiful dates in Indian head cents. But actually finding one that grades out full red, that's where the challenge comes when you dive into Indian head cents. I think sometime down the line I'll do a video on Indian head cent collecting that I think you guys will like. Just in an approachability standpoint and just trying to determine what's a good grade to collect for these coins. They're just extremely popular in the marketplace. So we got that one. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the nickels, and then we've seen some pretty diverse action going on here, and I think it's more of a telltale sign of what's going on when I see a few of these listings that I'm going to discuss tonight on this video. Just as kind of, people might be a little bit fed up with the prices of fully struck full steps nickels. There are actually a few nickels that weren't designated as full steps that sold for a good chunk of money. So stay tuned. So the first one that I want to talk about that kind of fits this mold as, wow, I had no idea that this coin would sell for this kind of money if it wasn't full steps, would be a 1964 Jefferson nickel, okay, the one that you see on screen here. Now, I have a feeling that whoever submitted this coin to the third-party graders thought that they probably would get away with a full steps designation. Looking at the photos, it's awfully close, but I think there's more than a few distracting marks that's preventing this one to earn the full steps moniker right on the label. However, it's a nice numerical grade. It's a Mint State 67 through PCGS. Now, even this coin at this grade level without full steps still managed to sell for $1,743.75. There you go. Thank you, Blue Ridge, for that information. Some of you probably have nice high graded coins that don't come close with the full steps designation, but let's not lose hope. There are coins without the full steps that still sold for quite a bit of coin, and this is one of them right here. Now, conversely, we have a 1957D. All right, this one right here is a PCGS Mint State 66 Plus full steps. So I'm a little bit conflicted. Take a look at this one, and then you probably want to rewind a few seconds to the 64. I kind of think the 64 has better struck steps than this one. The 57D that you see here also has kind of a distracting vertical mark right toward the middle of the steps that usually should disqualify a coin of this ilk to be full steps to begin with. All right. The moment you have these nicks that impede on 3, 4, or 5 steps, usually I would say, nah, it shouldn't even be a full steps coin. But this one did. And this one ended up selling for $2,031.78. So I'll let you guys be the judge, but I kind of think that they overshot this one. I don't know. I don't invest in these nickels, but I love talking about them and just seeing the ebbs and flows of the actual market of these coins is interesting because some of them get soft while others like stay extremely strong in spite of a kind of slow coin market. So yeah, pretty interesting listing here. The next one I wanted to talk about is going to be a 56. All right, this one right here is a PCGS Mint State 67 full steps coin. Okay, again, I'm kind of, I think the 64 probably had a little bit better strike. All right, it's not as distracting with the little nicks and planchet marks and things like that. But this one right here brought in $2,531.25. And finally, the last nickel of the bunch is going to be one of the more difficult dates, and that's going to be this 1951. This one is a PCGS Mint State 67. Again, like the 64, it doesn't have full steps, and I see why. There's not enough meat on the bone, I guess, to warrant the full strike designation. But even still, without the full steps, this one brought home $1,306.12 on Great Collections this evening. All right, this is a pretty nice example. Again, kind of go back and take a look at your guys' collection of nickels. Okay, it's not too hard to find and purchase some high-grade coins without full steps. It's just going to be a matter of finding one that's clean enough with minimal marks that you'll be able to hit a 66 plus or a 67. Even without the full steps, as you could see, the proof is in this pudding right here, and some of these coins command $1,000 to $2,000. All right, it's still a nice, respectable amount of money. All right, so I'm kind of pleased to see a number of Roosevelt dimes to have sold in the last 3-4 weeks. We'll go through this long stretch. Again, Roosevelt dimes are one of those series that doesn't have quite the following in the marketplace compared to, say, Lincoln pennies, Jefferson nickels, Washington quarters, and even maybe to a lesser extent Kennedy half dollars. But we have a few of them here that's worth mentioning. Now, if someone were to ask me, Sean, what is the toughest date in the modern clad era of Roosevelt dimes between 1965 to the current date, in terms of finding one with a full strike, which one would it be? Well, I have two particular dates that fit that mold: 1969p and 1975p. Two of, bar none, the toughest dates in the Roosevelt dime clad series to find one with full torch and strong luster. Well, guess what, guys? We have this one right here. This is a 1969 Rosie, and this one is a PCGS Mint State 66 full torch. So this one has the full strike. It's got the fully defined lines that separate the top set of bands and the bottom set of bands. This one sold for $1,012.50. This has been kind of like one of my hit list coins that I've been trying to find for submitting, and I haven't even come close to finding the one that kind of fits this mold. This coin right here looks pretty good strike wise, but the luster isn't nearly as strong. 69 is notorious for that. 1970 is the same way. But this one right here, I'm glad to at least talk about this at least once a year. They just don't come up with full torch, so it's pretty incredible. The next one that we have here, okay, is not the rarest. These usually come fully well struck and in nice quality. It's a 52D Roosevelt dime. This one is a PCGS Mint State 67 Plus with full bands or full torch, and it also exhibits some pretty nice crusty toning. This one sold for $1,806.62. All right, so we're beginning to see a little changing in the guard when it comes to this series. People are paying a little bit more respect to the series in general. It's more or less an extension of the Mercury Dime series. I think the only thing holding it back is the obverse design. Okay, no knock against Roosevelt. All right, obviously, but when you're comparing the Mercury Liberty Dime to this one, there's virtually no comparison to the beauty. All right, so anyways, that's a really nice one. And then we do have one more Roosevelt dime, and it's going to be this 1951 example here. Now this one's a high grade. It's a PCGS Mint State 68 full bands. All right, so it's well struck. It's an extremely clean example. Plus it also has some of that original toning that you want to look for such a coin. This one sold for $2,446.88. A real striking example, okay? And then when you have a dime like this, that's not exactly rare, but it's sold for almost $2,500. We're beginning to see kind of like a new appreciation for this series, and I'm glad to be able to talk about this. So we have a few coins left, all right? We have a total of 14 coins on this list, and no quarters to mention, but we do have a few half dollars, starting with this 1957 Business Strike Franklin half dollar. Okay, this is a Mint State type coin right here. It's a PCGS Mint State 66 with full bell lines, so it has the fully defined, well struck Liberty Bell reverse with the lines at the bottom. Okay, and this one is also CAC certified. This one brought home $1,625.62. But was this the big deal of the day? Probably not, because I like to reserve it for the last. And what we have here is another 1957 Franklin half dollar. Only this time, this is a proof strike coin. This is a coin that traditionally would come out of a proof set that can be had today for between like $25 and $30. It's reasonable. Now, finding one that looks like this one is where you're going to see a lot of the challenge. But the hunt is kind of like an appetite of sorts. You want to be able to hunt for coins that exhibit ultra cameo, beautifully frosted design details, and rich black mirrory fields. This one has it all. It's an NGC Proof 69 Ultra Cameo, and this one hammered in at $11,812.50. What a fantastic way to close out this Monday market report for the week ending February 2nd of 2020. It's 02/02/2020. Palindrome. It's a radar. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Those numbers mean a lot regarding, just this report. It's like, there's not really a whole heck of a lot else to say. But we have a lot of great coins. Yeah, kind of hard to believe that a few of them sold for what they did. Keep an eye out for some of those Jefferson nickels that aren't full steps, but they look great. Because they do have a secondary market, and we're beginning to see it a little bit more here in the last few weeks. Call it kind of like a new trend, and one in which I can stand firmly behind, because there's a lot of detractors when it comes to full steps Jefferson nickels. It's either all correct or it's not even close. All right, and as indicated from previous Monday market reports, we've seen a bevy of full steps nickels that probably is undeserved of the full steps designation. So I'm glad to see that some of these non-full steps nickels taking a step up in the marketplace. As always, guys, I'm your host Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video. Hit the bell for instant notifications if you like this video and you want more content on this great hobby of coin collecting and currency. We talk about paper money. Then go ahead and hit that bell. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys have fun with the hunt. Enjoy your week. Don't work so hard on your Monday. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.